Yes, we are no longer in this building. Stones has moved on from the original building. The dream was always to take over the entire building, as the backside is much bigger than what we had just in the front. So when we went to acquire that space from Pinnacle Cabinets, as the owners were retiring, we found that it was a good family business that was running back there, but they were ready to retire. At that time, my brother was looking for a new adventure for his family, and I offered him the idea to maybe take over this business and run it. And fortunately they did, and they've done well, and they were able to sublease the space from Stone Speed Shop and grow. Therefore, we moved into another location at the end of the street, close to where our fab shop and detail shop was. You'll see in our 2023 videos. Now on to our end of the year walkthrough. We moved the sign from the old building up onto the back of the building we acquired in 2021. So that sign used to be over here. Yeah, so a bit has changed in this location over the last year as well. So we'll head in there and take our end of the year walkthrough. So with all the expansions, we started doing a lot more general automotive and needed a bit of a bigger waiting room. So we moved our reception out of the original reception and made a bit more of a lounge, somewhere for people to hang out and wait for a ride, or wait for their vehicle if they're just in for, you know, oil change or a wheel alignment or nut and bolt check after a full build. So things had to open up a little bit for waiting room, and that's what we got. And then also we wanted to have a bit more of a, showroom for our service advisors. So we opened up our original detail bay that we had in 2021 and I think part of 2022 before we expanded down the road. So here we are in that area. Just turn on some lights and show you around a little bit. Just in the middle of organizing our apparel and products on this wall and into the cabinet here. We added a couple new things to our clothing this year. We revamped the Mindell coupe with a lot of input from customers. They loved the shirt, but it used to have the Mindell coupe name at the top of the shirt. I think we still have some over in the clearance aisle here. One of the biggest things is people didn't like the name of the car in the big back banner, kind of like a jersey. So we thought we'd change it up. And then obviously the wheels changed on the car and a lot of other things when we decided to take it to Detroit. So we definitely changed up the appearance of the car to what it is now. And then also we added a detail shirt. The girls down at Detail have been killing it and wanted to have a shirt of their own. So this Scout that we built with the nice blue color, we thought made sense for the detail shirt. And then also new, I believe this year, maybe it was the end of last year, is the hoodie. And same thing, we took all the information from car shows selling our shirts, and the most popular was the gasser that Kevin Stone had built years ago before my time. I believe it was the first Stone shirt ever, and it's just a cool car that you can't really beat that for a hot rod shirt. So we put that on our hoodie for our first hoodie, and everyone loves it. Just most people want a zip-up hoodie nowadays, so we're gonna probably start that line this year with zip-up hoodies, and we'll probably start it with the gasser as well, and then maybe add the detail shirt in a zip up and pull over and crew neck. The girls really want a crew neck. So watch for that this year, coming 2025. So yeah, we got a bit of a showroom. We like to stock a lot of parts that we use often. We brought in a bunch of the billet specialties, plug wire holders, and I've never seen anything as good. They're definitely worth the money and really not that expensive for how well they work. And then we've got tons of stuff that when you're building high-end vehicles, you end up with things you don't end up using. You can't return it. You've bolted it on the car. Essentially, they become display items for sale. And that's how we ended up with almost all these valve covers. Just building the Mindel Coupe the second time around, which is here on display. So yeah, we have quite the inventory of hot rod parts now in our service department. Try to keep everything basic in stock just to keep the process faster. You know, the biggest killer in our industry is labor hours and waiting a minute even just for a Lordco delivery or a Fortin's delivery or Napa or anybody to bring you like a wire end or, you know, battery cable or hose ends. Just adds to the timeline way too much. So we've got a full-time parts person now, as well as a receptionist and service advisor and general manager, all new basically to this year. Okay, moving on into the automotive shop, where we basically deal with most of our general automotive and maintenance tune-ups and transmission builds, engine builds, anything mechanically being done away from fab and upholstery and detail, all this, you know, keep the dirty, dusty stuff away from the oily stuff and vice versa. So out in the auto shop, we got it set up for that. An El Camino in here. It's getting a blueprint crate engine, Dakota Digital, Vintage Air, 700 R4 transmission. Kind of the basic upgrade that most people are doing these days, as well as it's getting some Willwood brakes, and I believe QA1 suspension front and rear. We have the Mindel farm truck, as they call it. This is the truck we painted for them a couple years ago. This is the truck they use around the farm to go get hay and the odd dump run and whatnot. We originally had a Vitec system on the big block, causing some issues. So we've now switched it up to a Sniper 2. So it's pretty much ready to go. Just some final tuning and wiring cleanup there. The Navigator's getting the never-ending problem airbags removed, getting all new springs and struts, and some front-end work and whatnot. Got this old Caddy, just waiting for the new carburetor to arrive. It just needs a carburetor. We built the engine in-house with some machine work from Fortin's machine shop. This truck is in to get ready for vehicle inspection. One thing we don't do in-house yet is government vehicle inspections. Not sure if we want to get into that, but we've done a lot of these vehicles that come in and they need a lot of little things to be, you know, road safe and reliable. So this is a bit of a home build the guy's been doing for many years, and just gonna tie up all the loose ends for him and you know, get a bed floor in it and get it through inspection. This truck came in for, honestly I can't remember what all it came in for, but it was supposed to be in for a few hours one day, and it's been here now for a couple months. It's got a QA1 4-link system now in the rear, Willwood brakes all the way around. I believe we did some control arms in the front as well. Some brake line work, some fuel line work, I believe, and some exhaust work. It's running a LT engine in it before it came to us, and yeah, I think it's just waiting for one last little part under the hood and it's ready to go home. Just had its wheel alignment. Then we have a 80 Trans Am in here. Customer's dad's owned it since maybe a year or two old, and he kept it in a garage for most of its life, I believe, and was firing it up every winter. And I believe he had diabetes and lost his vision, or most of his vision, and he forgot that he had something over top of the engine during the winter. And then when he fired it up, I'm assuming in spring or so, he had an engine fire, which burnt up the firewall a little bit, the top of the engine, of course the hood, and some of the interior. This car was a 301 non-turbo 200C transmission car, so kind of the worst engine transmission combination ever put into a GM product. So at this time, customers taking the opportunity, we're going to do as basic as possible LS swap with a carb intake manifold, and then Sniper 2, so we can retain the shaker hood. So we got a 5.3 and a 4L60E going in. So this car should be running in the near future here, early this year. Got a little artwork put on the walls this year. Lunchroom upstairs here. So that's pretty much it going on in the automotive shop for the end of 2024 here. I think we added the jet wash this year. I'd have to look back, see when we actually added that. It might have been in last year. Local transmission shop closed down, so we jumped on the opportunity to grab their old equipment, and with myself and one of our techs, Dave, having a long background in transmissions, it only made sense to, you know, kind of add it to the business. All right, well, I'm going to move on down to the hot rod shop. So here is our hot rod shop office. We've designed this to look a lot like the automotive shop service department office, just to try and have a continuity that we started in the new detail shop, which you'll see later on in this video, just to give everything the same look and feel, no matter what office you're in. We are 3 locations, but we are one business, you know, with 3 locations on one street. So this office is housing our upholstery on the left, service manager in the middle, and body shop manager on the right. And we don't occupy this space 100% of the time, but it is here for when we have meetings with customers that now have vehicles in this building for restoration or upholstery. So here we are. This right out of the office is the auto body shop. So we've installed the new paint booth in the old detail department, and this is now the body shop side. We've put up a curtain that we can open up all the way into the other shop, but fully curtained across, and got the full dust collection service over here. I'll take you around and show you. So there's the new booth all installed. Old Ford in here for a paint job and some assembly. So yeah, we originally got this paint booth and these hydro vane compressors out of a shop in Calgary that didn't last too long. It looked like they maybe painted a dozen vehicles in the booth. It was a really unique shop. They had upstairs in the old Calgary Hydro building. It was pretty crazy. You had to go up a 3-story hoist to bring vehicles to the paint booth. And yeah, so we drove up to Calgary, took this down, and a couple of days loaded it up and drove it back and threw it in storage for almost 4 full years. We are now all up and running. It's nice to have, you know, a proper downdraft booth, nicely sealed up with air makeup. The biggest problem with the old shop is we didn't have air makeup. Couldn't control the temperatures. And now with this booth, you know, it's a 27 by 14, lots of room. You can paint a car and some parts behind it. If you're painting multiple colors with the downdraft, you can base coat the few different colors, clear coat everything at once. It's a game changer compared to the old spray tech booth that we had that limited us to very minimal projects at a time. And through the curtain, you're into our assembly area. Now we have this old, I believe it's a 1930 Buick McLaughlin. I believe it's like one of very few, like 3 or 4, if not less. I believe this one was a Parks vehicle in Banff, I believe, somewhere in that area. Anyway, we will do a video on this car as soon as I brushing up on all the facts on the car. It was here for some assembly work years ago in the old Stones building when I was just an employee here, and the customer wanted to do some stuff at home himself. He never got around to it, and he approached me at a car show this year and asked to come back and get going on it again. So it's back, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get her going. This car is just in for some new latches for the convertible top. And Ford Ranger build. If you guys follow us at all, we've posted quite a bit about this. Customers, grandpa's vehicle, they want to restore. It's a factory diesel, which is pretty unique. So we're doing a full restoration. But they wanted it to be an off-road theme, so it's got color match bed liner that we've kind of thinned out over the whole body. Bit of a lift kit, factory refinished wheels, brushing the upholstery right now, some new carpet, and yeah, just cleaning up the inside. He wanted some rugged door panels, so we made some out of checker plate with some pockets and whatever the customer wants. So it's getting close. The upholstery shop was new last year. He's been kept really busy this whole year. It's only getting bigger and better every day. Been a great asset added to the team while doing upholstery. I believe this is the dash out of the El Camino that's getting fully refurbished. Looking brand new from here. One of our ex-employees that moved to Calgary, or sorry, not Calgary, Alberta somewhere, I think Red Deer area, now works for a heavy duty shop. So he's sent out a couple of these seats now out of some rigs, big rigs trucks, I guess. And so I think we did the driver's seat first, and now this is the passenger, or it's just out of 2 separate vehicles, I'm not sure. I believe these seats may be out of the El Camino. Not entirely sure, but if they are, they're getting reupholstered here, and this is the other half of the Ranger seat. This Challenger came in for a modern engine swap. This customer bought this out of Barrett Jackson, I believe, a year or 2 ago. It's an original 318 car. It does have a 440 in it now. We're putting a 392 Hemi and an 8-speed auto in it. He wants to swap out the vinyl top to a black top and do some black accents on the body as well. In stages, the car will be fully restored. This is the rest of the fab department that had to move over here. We moved fab over here before the body shop this year and got them going. And then as soon as we got that booth in, we moved body over. Just waiting for some sheet metal for the rear of this fair lady. So we've done full floors and rockers and frame rails already. And somebody did a really good job of hiding rust and patchwork on this vehicle overseas before the customer purchased it. So yeah, we got everything we figured we needed in the beginning, but as we got further in, we started seeing more of the hidden work. So we have some rear panels coming to finish it up. You know, we used to just kind of make everything we needed if it wasn't easy to get, but the cost of labor versus parts nowadays, it's if you can buy anything, even if you have to modify it to make it fit proper, is still the answer, no matter what. Labor hours are what just kill the cost of any restoration, any paint job, any repair job. Labor is always what will add up and kill any kind of profits or any kind of, you know, job worth on doing the job for the customer as well. You can't always just, you know, keep dumping money into a vehicle just because it's old and the hours add up, right? So we're trying to do our best to be efficient, and the most efficient thing for us is to be organized, and a big part of that is having the right parts and keeping things in line, keeping the guys busy with lots of work so they're not looking for work to do that's not necessary, like building little panels. You know, I believe the panels we're waiting for were maybe $300 for the rest of the car. And with today's rates, you know, you spend 3 hours mucking with one panel and you've already doubled the cost of the parts. So it's just not worth it. So that's pretty much it in the hot rod shop right now. Things are thinned out a little. We had our Christmas party near Christmas there, and we cleaned everything up, and a few vehicles that are down in storage, which I'll get to later today, and we'll add it to our 2024 walkthrough. So that's it in here. I'm gonna head down to the new to this year detail shop. Okay, so here I am at the new detail department. Over here we have the wash bay, and over here is the detail bays, and right here is the office. This is kind of what set us in a bit of a standard for how we wanted our displays to look. So with this space coming available, it was an awkward space, being that it was two shops in one, with the bay doors on either end of the building. So you have two front entrance doors into the space with the bays on either end. So I had to really think about what would work, what would make sense for the square footage, and moving detail down here so we can add the auto body into the hot rod shop and take their space made the most sense. And yeah, so we took the lease on the space, and it had a massive mezzanine in here and nothing else. None of these offices, none of these doors, anything you see were in here. But this massive steel and concrete mezzanine was already in this building. So we had that to deal with. And then as well, this bay is a shorter bay. It has the utilities room for the whole building at the end. Kind of hard to see with the glare, but at the end there's, I want to say like 12, 15 feet of the bay are gone to a utilities room. So we made sure my 450 would fit in this bay with, you know, all the doors open on the truck and the bay door closed, and, you know, be able to wash a large vehicle in the winter or whenever. In the summer in the hot sun, you know, you can't be outside either. And it fit well. So we got a hold of Zone Garage Floors, had the Stones style flooring done that we've done in all the wash bays or detail shops since we started doing detail. We also did the walls. I'll walk out there in a minute and we'll go over that, get out of the glare. In here, they suggested just I believe it's polyurethane, clear just over the concrete. Kind of gives it a neat look without spending a ton of money. And then, yeah, we had to build the walls and turn this into an office space. And we were running tight for time, and anybody that does reno work or construction, you know, drywall mud and painting takes forever. There's just no rushing, drying time. And at the time we didn't have heat in here. So we knew we were gonna put some of this slat wall up to hang our merchandise. And while I was, you know, ordering it, I thought, you know what, why wouldn't we just cover the whole wall with it and the finish? And it sped things up hugely. So we only had to, you know, there's a couple of tape lines up here to deal with, and then this wall, which again, very minor. Walls we knew we weren't going to put anything on, if anything, a decal or a banner, so we weren't in a rush. And then same with over here, we just slat boarded this wall to finish it, which gave us tons of room for product. And yeah, we still are yet to build. We're going to build another service desk exactly like the other two shops, just probably only like a 2-person size one in this shop. But the vision was all 3 locations, you know, we're all on one street, but all 3 locations, all 3 offices, service areas, all to have that same look. So you know, you feel comfortable, you're in the same business the whole time. We're able to use this closet to store some merchandise. So yeah, let's walk out into the shop. We'll go over the wash bay and then over into the detailing end of things. Yeah, here we are out in the shop. This is the new wash bay. It's very large. We had the whole floor jackhammered out by the owners of the building. Actually did the project, I think, out to about here. They removed the whole floor and then tapered it nicely, so all the water and grime go into the catch basin where we have to clean it out monthly. Yeah, everything's all set up on the walls nicely to give them all the floor space they need. The zone also sealed up the wall. I think it's about 8 feet. So we can keep it clean, which was one of the biggest reasons. And concrete, just bare concrete stains and starts to look terrible after a while. And then on this wall, it's drywall because that is the utility room, so power and everything in there. So we did 4x8 sheets of plywood all along this wall, and then they sealed it with the floor paint and then the polyurethane, I think it's Sikaflex sealer all along the bottom before the plywood went on, after the plywood went on, and then the ceiling, just to keep everything dry up to 8 feet. And they've washed a ton of cars and floor mats and everything you can think of in here, and it doesn't take long for the cleanup crew to clean up in here and make it look good. We also brought one wall of the metal out here as well. We've done this in the hot rod shop for the around the lunchroom above the office, and on one of the walls for the upholstery shop. So just a nice little accent metal wall, same thing, sealed 100%. And yeah. And as I mentioned, the awkwardness of the way this building was put together by the previous tenant was this massive, you know, amazing, the mezzanine, but just massive. And it just cut this bay off from the whole shop without coming like through these pilings or poles. So we figured, you know, our best option is this to be our wash bay, and then an office, and then this bathroom was also in what I would consider the stupidest location of a building. You know, you've got the mezzanine here, you got this space here, and you know, they just put this washroom right in the middle. So we broke it up the best we can with the cabinet here and there. And then over here we have a hoist for undercoatings and removing wheels. We do a lot of ceramic coatings, and a lot of times people want their wheels done inside and out, or brake caliper painting, or any of that type of stuff. So we have a hoist here for that. And then they have 2 bays underneath the mezzanine with the hexagon lights for polishing and ceramic coating. It works really well for the space. And then enough room for a few vehicles for vacuuming and your generic detailing. And then to make use of the mezzanine and this space to make sense financially, the mezzanine was a huge part in that, because to move us out of the original stone speed shop, for my brother to grow Pinnacle Cabinets bigger, we were losing a little bit of square footage in the body shop. In a total, we're close to the same square footage, but as you can see, detail has taken a lot more of that square footage. But we take advantage of it, storing vehicles here a lot. But the body shop had no more storage, and that was the hugest loss that we had from the original building. It was loaded with random mezzanines everywhere. So we were able to take advantage of this mezzanine and use it for our longer term part storage on big projects. So I'll take you up there now. So yeah, up here is still a bit of a work in progress, as we've only been in here for, I don't even know now, half a year or so. And a little bit of a lunch space for the detail staff. And then big project storage for parts. So we stack up these wheel racks and move parts over here. And like I was saying earlier, the biggest thing to keep build costs down and, you know, make it worth customers spending the money on these vehicles, organization is huge. So we've put in a bunch of processes, lots of pictures, shared albums, and many totes and shelving to just keep things organized, keep things moving smoothly. And yeah, we were able to take care of that by having this mezzanine to make it all make sense. And then also storage for all our apparel. And luckily, when they built the mezzanine, they built both ends to open. So we have a forklift and a safety basket that these carts fit right into, and yeah, can move stuff out of the way, keep it out of the employees' way, and keep the parts safe. And then we also built a small office for Leah. She takes care of the general operation of the business, and needed a space for her to do so. So again, it's a work in progress, but she's got the best office in the business, I believe, with this amazing view down into the parking lot. So Leah manages the detail business fully with the help of her sister, Nicole, and Leah also does all the administrative work for the entire business. And she's the first call to anybody in the business that's having a problem with, the computer, the operating system, or buying parts or anything like that. She's everybody's right-hand man in the business. So yeah, so that is the detail department and storage and Leah's administrative office. One of the biggest changes of this year. So yeah, thanks for coming along with me today and doing the 2024 wrap-up video of Stone Speed Shop. Okay, here we are down at our off-site secure storage facility. Just another thing that we needed to help stay efficient in the business. The lighting is poor in here, so hopefully the video turns out all right. But yeah, as far as the efficiency, if we're waiting for parts for more than a week, waiting on a customer, if they're building in in stages or in process or anything that just comes up during the build where things need to wait, we take advantage of having this extra space off-site to keep productivity soaring on the vehicles that are in progress at the shop. So take you for a quick walk around here and show you what's here. We have the F100, 55 F100 that was built by Stones. It was a bit before my time when I started working for Stones. They were trying to get this truck done for the upcoming April car show. So I did some final wiring and got it up and running and helped get it to the show, where it did really well at the Abbotsford Trade X show. It won everything that show had to offer, its class and the whole show itself. It was a really cool truck, and the owner of the build actually put it up for sale afterwards. He got sick and never drove it, and it was just kind of overbuilt for what he wanted to do with it. Kind of scared to use it. So my business partner ended up buying it just to put it in his collection since we had built it. And it was never his favorite truck. It was just a good deal. And unfortunately, after a Chilliwack car show, it'd be two years ago now, we parked it for a few months after the show and then went to start it, and the blower had a vacuum leak in the back of it, and it backfired, and we had a plugged carb, and anyway, it lit up and had a small fire. We got it out real quick, so it just damaged the firewall and hood. So at that time, we took the opportunity to get rid of the two-tone and the green colors that the owner's not really fond of, and we're going with it's like an Eleanor Mustang silver. I actually have a part of it here that's painted, and as we walk through, you'll see more parts of the truck that are already painted and ready. We just use it as filler work. It's just no rush. We're hoping to get it ready for this show season, but coming up, but not a priority by any means. We're also deleting the vent windows. It still had the vent windows in it, and we didn't like that. With this 55 kind of slant back windshield style, that just with the vent windows, it just shortens up the cab even more than it is. And we just wanted to take the time, since it was apart, to do that and upgrade to a better power window systems. It was originally put together with your, KMS, cheap universal power window kit that barely worked and also was damaging the inside of the door, causing outward outward dents in the doors. So now we have it done with the vent window delete and a new Relics power window kit. So it's going to be a lot better. We also got rid of the flip front. These trucks are notorious for the hood's not opening well, even with the good hinges. It's a fight. We've got hundreds of hours getting the hood to work correctly the proper way, and with a big blower motor under the hood, it's nice to get the hood opening properly so at a show you can actually see the engine, where with the flip front it took that away, and didn't really like it much. So, and then we moved the axle in the front ahead as well to center it up in the wheel well and rework the fenders. And we're going to order up, I think, some shot wheels for it. The truck was kind of a pro street build, but then with the hours put into the paint and body and cut and polish and upholstery, it was like a pro touring truck on a pro street chassis. So it kind of had mixed feelings with itself. So we think it'll fit a lot better with maybe some 20 or 22 by 15s in the back and you know, normal size tire in the front, and get rid of the kind of pro street drag look that it had, and just modernize the build a little bit that way. And then over here we have a Packard. This is for the DeLorean, VC DeLorean and other movies cars. My business partner's collection of movie cars. This is a replica of the Back to the Future Doc Brown car. It's kind of a deep cut. You don't see it much in the movie, but it is a well-known car in the movie industry. So we were just doing the paint, and of course the upholstery is the wrong color, the roof's the wrong color. So just waiting to get it in line at the upholstery shop, and I believe we've picked out all the colors for the upholstery, so that's coming soon. And then this is also a BC DeLorean car that Kevin had bought, kind of just because it was a cool car. It was on Bring a Trailer. It's got a good history. It was an original fire ambulance, like support vehicle. I can't remember the name of the place. It was, I believe, in Texas. It was their ambulance fire vehicle for the fire department from new. So we got it, and you know, the engine wasn't that great, and it really wasn't much to do with it. It was just a cool old car. So we kind of came up with the idea that we wanted a burnout car. So the lettering on the side is actually the same as what it had. I'll try and get some videos or pictures popped up here in the top corner to show you the original vehicle. But we changed it to Stone's Fire Department, and then a little light 'em up down there in the corner. And so we Coyote swapped it with, I think it's a Gen 3 Coyote with the 6-speed, Ford 9-inch 4-link. We did cutouts that come out the side. Originally we planned to get it to breathe some fire. Just a fun vehicle. And this year we decided to take it to the old time drags at Mission, and we never really set the car up. We just did a couple burnouts, and then it just got parked, and then we brought it to the old time drags on a whim. Just thought it'd be cool since it does have a lot of flashing lights, and it was fun. But my first drag down the track, the driveline angle wasn't set up right, and we tore the floor out of it in the drive shaft, and yeah, snapped the pinion off, and got lucky that it didn't get hurt. It blew the shifter box all out, and yeah, so now we're doing it properly. We're gonna put some drive shaft loops in it, and we had so much fun there, the old time drags, that we definitely want to bring it back this year. So we're gonna take our time and set it up properly, and have drive shaft loops and driveline angle properly and things like that. It's no fun losing a drive shaft at 100 miles an hour. So here's the box for the 55 F100. Another kind of look at the color it's going. Front shot of the Packard. Back shot of the burnout car. The Bronco that we did a driver quality kind of paint job / restoration on. Just waiting for the customer to pick up. This van we did a complete every panel you can buy metalwork restoration on it. The customer's just paying to store it here for a while. I'm thinking maybe he wants us to go further with it in the future. We'll see. Back here's a Merc that we've been working on. It was being built by a kind of I guess a backyarder guy. I'm not sure exactly who. It was a friend of the owners, and it was just taking too long to get done, and things didn't seem to be going well, so he pulled it out and had us take it over. It's got a Coyote in it with the automatic, and it's got like not a huge Fox body Mustang guy, but it's the Cobra independent suspension they had for like a couple of years. Maybe not even Fox body, the next generation, but it's got the independent rear. It's on AccuRide Air all the way around. It's gonna be a real cool truck when it's done. We're just gotta get her back in and finish up some body work and get her painted and assembled. So, of course, I got my camper in here for the winter. Walk over here, see what we got. We got this Continental in here. This is the guy that has it. His friend owned it and passed away, so he wants to do a bit of a memorial build on it. Again, going to be a Coyote swapped. We're just still in the build process, deciding on whether we buy like a written off late Mustang and use the chassis from a later Mustang, or if he wants to pay the money and get a Roadster Shop chassis for it. I've reached out to Roadster Shop and got a quote. And yeah, so we're just kind of waiting to see where he wants to go with budget basically on it, and how we'll go about doing the build. It's got some rust in the roof, you know, from the vinyl top and whatnot, but it's a pretty solid car otherwise. Over here is a Falcon race car. Business partner seen it on Marketplace a couple years ago, and thought it'd be a cool car to add to Stones for a bit of a project for the employees if they want to work on it on their own time, and then get a chance to go down and race it. So it's been a race car most of its life. I was told it's been tubbed and channeled and all that from way back in the 70s, and it's got a big cubic inch Ford, and we just got to take it right apart and go right through it and try and get it to the track again, hopefully this year for the old time drags. Yeah, and it's a registered car, and it is streetable with street tires, so maybe we'll take the tires off that F100 and we'll make it street legal as well, so we can get it out and drive it around. And most of these cars are packed tight in here, so I'm just gonna go up the stairs so we can see what's at the back. Got a 65 Malibu, painted it for a customer, just storing it until he's ready to finish it. We're in talks on upholstery work right now. And then we have the 66 right-hand drive Impala convertible, just on hold, waiting for the customers to decide to keep going or take it home. And then in the back is a Dart we were building a few years ago. It's been on hold for a couple of years, just waiting on the customer to see what he wants to do with it. And then we have a Buick in the very back corner, which is another BC DeLorean vehicle. It's a even deeper cut into Back to the Future 1. An old couple pull up on the side of the road when Marty, I think, pushes the time machine behind a road sign or a billboard sign, and the old couple pull up, and we're going to build the car to look like that car. It's not the exact car, but close enough. So it's a very deep down the line project that if we ever need something to play with, we have it. So that being said, with the workload we have, I doubt we'll get to it in 2025 or 26, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, so this is our offsite storage. Just works great. You know, if we have a car that's in the way at the shop, we have a bit of a system. If we're waiting at least a week for the parts that we know, and it's in the way, we put it in the trailer, in a lock compound under alarms and cameras. And then if we need that trailer, we bring it here and dump the car off and carry on. And just a bit of a system to, you know, just keep organized and efficient on the jobs that are currently in the shop, paying and consistent. And we can just get these out of the way and safe, because that's always the other thing, is you don't want to be working around these cars with fresh paint on them if you're not working on that car. So again, thanks for coming around and watching this video, and we'll continue to do some filming, and we'll pick a car at a time, I think is the plan, and kind of start doing some shorter videos on each build individually, or each cool car that we're working on, either for regular customers or for BC DeLorean. We're always doing something fun with them. So yeah, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.